Hello and welcome back to the Satoshi Society YouTube channel. I'm not in my normal um, area at the moment, so yeah, the stream's going to be a little bit different, and I don't have my two monitor set up, so yeah, just bear with me. But I hope I can continue to bring the content that I bring you as well. So yeah, today we're going to talk about the technical sides of Bitcoin, as always with me. But yeah, I think there's some sort of talk of what is going on at the moment, and the price isn't moving too much. It's sort of just hovering at these highs that it has made, and yeah, we do just need to sort of find out whether the price is going to continue this push towards the upside, or are we going to have this pullback. For me right now, I'm sure if you watched yesterday's video, you will know that I'm looking more to the bearish side. But things could change, and I will talk about that today as well. So before we get into the video, please make sure you smash a like on this video. Would really help me out, and yeah, really appreciate it as well. As I said, I'm not in my normal studio, so yeah, just bear with me. It's going to be a little bit slow because I don't have my two-screen setup, but yeah, we move on. So anyway, jumping straight on into the charts, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the Bitcoin charts. As I said, it's going to be a little bit slow. Here we go. Here they are. Right. So what we're looking at here is the Bitcoin 1-day chart. And as we can see, I'm going to go through them very quickly because in yesterday's video, I went through them in a little bit more depth. But what we can see right here is we can see that Bitcoin is still, there's still a possibility that Bitcoin can form this bearish divergence. Okay. Yes, the price is coming very close to this previous high here. However, if this candle here today closes below this previous high here, then that bearish divergence is still in play because as you can see here, we are forming higher highs on the RSI, and then we would be forming lower lows on that price action chart. However, there is a possibility that this bearish divergence could be invalid. Okay, if we break above this previous high right here, okay, if we get that break above that previous high today, then this could invalidate this bearish divergence. So that would be one of the bearish indications, okay, pushed to the side and forgotten about because it would have been invalid. Okay, and this is why we sort of need to figure out whether the price is going to push towards the upside, continue this push towards the upside, or have that bearish pullback. Now, what I would be looking at if we were to continue this push towards the upside would actually be a break of this previous high here. So if we could get above this horizontal level here and use that as support, then I do think that this pump could continue, and I do think the price could come up to $22,800. However, what we can see right here is that there is a lot of resistance at this level. You can see that we tested it twice, and to the dollar each time, pretty much to the dollar each time, we've seen a rejection from this level. Okay, so we do just have to be very aware of that. This is a very strong resistance level here, and it's looking pretty likely that a pullback could occur. But again, I'm keeping the options open because there is a possibility that we could break above this. We use it as support, okay, and if we can have that push towards the upside, have a slight pullback here using this previous higher support, that could mean that the RSI could have a slight reset, and then we could continue towards the upside, pushing up to $22,800. That's what we could be looking at. The other scenario that I would be looking at is the price potentially pushing up, getting swing failure pattern, and then the price just having that correction from there. Because as we know, the RSI is incredibly overextended, okay, overbought. We're looking, if we come and have a look at the previous time, the RSI was like this. So let's have a look right here. As you can see, the RSI was just in that overbought territory, sorry. And as you can see, Bitcoin topped out and we did have a pretty big correction. Okay, another example was right here. Okay, as you can see right here, the RSI was in that overextended territory. Okay, coming into that overextended territory, what happened? Okay, we had a pullback. Okay, initially another push towards the upside, forming a textbook bearish divergence, and then we've seen a major correction there. Okay, so we do just have to be very aware of that. This is something that we could see as of right now. we could see this play out over the course of this week. So we do just have to be very, very aware. So this level, okay, 21,468 is a very, very important level. Okay, if we break above it and we can hold it as support, then we could be looking at the price coming up to $22,800. However, if we break above it, okay, and we don't hold it as support, then it's most likely going to be a swing failure pattern, and then we will see a pullback potentially back down to 18,461. That's where the next sort of major level of support is. So we just got to be aware of that. And the other scenario is the one that I think will most likely play out, is that we just don't make it above this $21,468 and we have a pullback from here. We have a correction from here. We do need this correction. As much as I would like the price to continue to push towards the upside, we do need to have this correction, and it will be a healthy correction because, as I said, indicators, and I'm sure hundreds of indicators are signaling for the price being overextended, overbought, and a correction is needed to continue that push towards the upside if this push towards the upside does continue. So we do just have to be very aware of that. And this is, what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Just coming back to the stream quickly, looking for a potential swing failure pattern on Bitcoin, but for now I'm still scalping longs on alts. Yes, the alts are having a nice rally towards the upside, but again, if you're looking at investing into altcoins, you've got to be careful, because if Bitcoin is going to have this correction, then the altcoins are going to have an even bigger correction as well. So we just got to be very aware of that. And Brucey, good to see you here. Hello to you. Hope you're having a nice day. Crippy, of course, you too as well. It's good to see you back. But yeah, for me, it's looking more likely that we won't break above this, but if we do, there is still a high chance that we are going to get that swing failure pattern. So I do agree with what you're saying there, Crippy. But yeah, for me, I would expect it to just get rejected from here. But again, we will see, and I'll show you why I'm expecting a rejection from here rather than getting that swing failure pattern. And the reason is because if we come down to the 4 hour, let's have a look at the 8 hour as well. 8 hour, I'll talk about it in a second. Even the 12 hour. Okay, so I'll start on the bigger time frames and I'll work my way down. But what we can see here is we can actually see a bearish divergence here on the 12 hour as well. Okay, we're forming higher highs right here. Okay, on the price action charts, and then on the RSI we're forming lower lows. Okay, and this is more locally. Okay, because we're on the 12 hour. We can go to the 8 hour as well. Exactly the same thing. Okay, RSI is in the overextended territory as well. We're coming down to the 4 hour. All of these. On all of these time frames, okay, we're forming this bearish divergence, as you can see right there, okay, and then we're in that overextended territory on the RSI. Okay, so for me, it's looking more like we're going to just see a rejection from here rather than actually form that bearish divergence. Sorry, not a bearish divergence, that swing failure pattern. I do think we could see a rejection from here. Of course, we could still form another high, have that swing failure pattern, and probably still have this bearish divergence in play as well, on the 4 hour, the 8 hour, even the 12 hour as well. So, that is a possibility, but I do think a correction is coming, and, I do think that correction could happen this week because we are so very overextended, and we just need to have that pullback. Not a pullback, a massive pullback that will bring us back down to 15,000. It doesn't have to be that. It could just be a little pullback, potentially back down to $18,500 approximately, and then we could continue that push towards the upside. Of course, that might not happen. We could see lower as well. We'd have to wait until this correction happens to sort of predict where the price is going to go from there. So we can't think too far ahead, but looking locally, it's looking likely that we are going to see this pullback, and this pullback, could come down, as I said, to around $18,500 if we do get this pullback. So, yeah, this is what I'm looking at for Bitcoin right now, and for Ethereum as well. I don't think you can see that. No, you can't. Let me just share the Ethereum screen as well. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, sorry again. I'm not in my normal studio. I don't have my setup here, so it is going to be a little bit slow. Just trying to get across Ethereum. There we go. Perfect. So Looking at Ethereum, exactly the same story. However, that bearish divergence is still very much in play because we haven't got to this previous high yet. But yeah, what we're looking at is lower highs on that price action chart, and then very, very clear higher highs on the RSI. And then, of course, RSI is overextended as well. So for me, it's looking prime for a pullback as well. Of course, if Bitcoin's going to have a pullback, Ethereum's also going to have a pullback as well. And as you can see, we have this resistance level here from this previous high. We tested it here. We tested it to the dollar right there, and we've got a rejection from it. So this is a very key level. And then, of course, we have this previous high here as well, where we could potentially form a swing failure pattern if we're still going to be very overextended on that RSI. Again, RSI is a very useful indicator. It can indicate to us when a correction is needed, and when a push towards the upside is needed. Okay, it's a it's very simple but a very effective and helpful tool. And when you can apply it with bearish divergences, it makes it even stronger as well. Let's see if I can find a perfect example. And to be honest with you, there's a perfect example right here. Okay, so what we can see is we can see lower lows on the price action chart right here. However, on the RSI, we can see higher highs. Okay, very clear higher highs. And then right here, the RSI was getting into that overextended territory. Just peaked into that overextended territory, but initially still within that overextended territory. And as you can see, what happened because of this, we had a correction right there. This does work, and it's in one of the courses that we are trying to get out for you. I go through this as well, showing you bearish divergence, and 74% of the time they do play out. They are very, very effective tools, and they can just give you that edge in the market, and sort of give you the vision on where the price is going to go. And it's looking likely, very likely right now, that we are going to have that pullback. And as I said, with Bitcoin, it's not to say that we are going to come all the way back down to $1,000 for Ethereum, but we could have a correction down to maybe $1,350. And then we can continue that push towards the upside if the market is looking bullish. But we'll have to see when we get to that point. But I do still think a pullback is necessary before we can continue this push towards the upside. Now, there is another thing that I wanted to show you as well. To be honest, I haven't actually looked at it this morning. Let me have a quick look at it. But yeah, we'll bring that up as well, which is the DXY. The DXY is something I wanted to look at as well because, I've been telling you, I do think that the DXY and Bitcoin are back inversely correlated. Okay, they previously, I used this in my analysis, the DXY and Bitcoin, because they were inversely correlated. When the DXY goes down, Bitcoin goes up. When the DXY goes up, Bitcoin goes down. Okay, we used the DXY to help us with a number of trades, which were very successful. And I want to start using the DXY again because I believe that they are back they are inversely correlated once again. And over Christmas and just a little bit before Christmas, they weren't because the DXY was going down, but we also saw Bitcoin going down as well. So for me, they were looking more correlated than actually inversely correlated, but now they are inversely correlated again because we've seen it. We've seen the DXY go down, but we've seen Bitcoin have that nice push towards the upside, and even before that, we saw them both consolidate together, which is also good as well. Yeah, what I'm looking at on the DXY is actually this major support level right here. Let me just change that to support. There we go. From this previous low right here. So we have this previous low right here. And as you can see, the price is actually using that as support right now. We did break this major level here. We broke the support. Okay, retested it as resistance, got rejected, tested it again, got rejected again. So we've come back down to this previous low right here. Now, if the DXY is going to find support here and bounce towards the upside, then this is not going to be good for Bitcoin. Okay, we're going to have another leg down for Bitcoin. However, if the DXY can break this major support here, then that is going to be very, very bullish for Bitcoin, and we can continue to see Bitcoin push towards the upside. So we're just going to have to wait and see if the DXY can bounce off this or if it breaks below it. Okay, if it does bounce, then Bitcoin is probably going to pull back, and depending on how high it bounces, and if it comes up to this resistance, say it broke that, that is bad news for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is most likely going to come back down to the low that it made, around $15,000. So we have to be cautious of that as well. But the likely scenario I would see is if it did find support, we would find resistance here, probably get a rejection, maybe retest, okay, and then from there we'll have to see what the market is looking like, because potentially we could break back above it and see new lows for Bitcoin, or we could get rejected, come back down to the support, break that support, and then perfect, Bitcoin can have that rally towards the upside. So the DXY is something that I'm going to be looking at, and I am just waiting to see whether the DXY can hold this support or break this support. And of course, I will keep you updated with that as well. One other thing that I wanted to take a look at as well was the ES as well. So let's have a quick look at the ES. So bringing up the ES, as you can see right here, we are getting a rejection from this downwards trending resistance level here. And as you know, over the course of 2022, we used this as strong resistance. We haven't been above this downwards trending resistance line in over a year. Okay, and as you can see, I've marked it out perfectly here. We tested it to the dollar on the 4th of Jan. Okay, tested it pretty much to the dollar in March, the end of March, as you can see right there. And then again, we tested it to the dollar on the 16th of August, 2022. And then again, we tested it to the dollar on the 1st of December. And then we tested it here again on the 13th of December, had a little candle, not a candle break, sorry, a wick break above it, coming up to this resistance level here. As you can see right there, that little wick of this resistance here got rejected from there, which also meant we got a candle rejection from this downwards trending resistance level, as you can see right there. And now we are testing it as of right now once again. Okay, if we can get above this, okay, this is going to be good for crypto, because we know that the traditional markets and crypto are correlated. Okay, we know that the Bitcoin does follow the traditional markets. So if we are going to see the traditional markets have a push towards the upside, then we're going to see Bitcoin most likely follow as well. So it would be good if we can get above this. Okay, we haven't been above this downwards trending resistance line in over a year. Okay, so if we can get above it, it's going to be great. But then we have to remember we have this major resistance level up here as well, which we've been rejected from here. We've been rejected from here. We did have a slight break here, but we couldn't hold it as support. So what happened is the price broke back below it, tested it as resistance, and then had another rejection, another test, and then an even bigger rejection as well. Rejection here. We used it as support previously, as you can see right there, and we even used it as support and resistance back here as well. So this is a major level for the ES right now. Well, not right now, if we do get to that level. So there could be a strong rejection from there as well. We do just have to be very aware of that. But yeah, right now, the main thing that we need to be looking at on the ES is actually this level here. Okay, if we're going to get a rejection from this level right here, okay, and we're going to see a continuation of that rejection, then we are most likely going to see Bitcoin follow that as well, and Bitcoin have that pullback. And I am expecting Bitcoin to have that pullback as well. I've showed you why. We're very overextended. So the ES as well is also telling us, if we're going to get rejected from here, okay, then Bitcoin is most likely going to have that pullback as well. Okay, so this is just another indicator telling me that we could have that pullback. And like with the DXY is that support. If it's going to bounce off that support, then we're going to see Bitcoin pull back as well. So there are a lot of indications indicating to me that Bitcoin is going to have that pullback. However, if we can break these levels, then we can continue this push towards the upside, but only if we break those levels. Okay, so these are very important levels that you need to pay attention to right now, because sorry, as I said, if they break the levels, we can continue this rally towards the upside. However, if we're going to get rejected, okay, from the levels on the ES and the likes of Bitcoin, we are going to have a correction. And like on the DXY, if we hold that support and it pushes towards the upside, we're going to have that rejection for Bitcoin, and we're going to have that pullback. So we do just have to be aware of that. And of course, that's going to follow. That's going to follow into the altcoin market as well. So let's have a look. Hi AJ, what do you think about the predictions of Bitcoin at 30k and then short in the medium term? AJ, what do you think about the predictions of Bitcoin at 30k? 30k. Okay. To be honest with you, we're not that far away from it. We're not that far away from 30k. Let me just bring up a chart for you. Let me find it quickly. Yeah, perfect here. So I want to bring up the weekly chart for you. Let's stop sharing that one and bring up this one right here. As we can see, okay, 30K. I think 30K is a little too high. I think 30K is a little too high if we are going to have a bigger rejection, if that's what you meant, okay? Because of course, if and when we do get to 30K, there is going to be a rejection from there because we have a major resistance level there, okay? This is a major level. After breaking above 30K, we used it as support there. We used it as support throughout May, June, and July of 2021, okay? Then we broke below it in 2022, retested it as resistance, and then got a heavy rejection from it. So this is a very critical level. So yes, if we do come up to 30K, then there is going to be most likely going to be a rejection from here, then potentially a retest, and then we could break above it, okay? Because this is a very strong resistance level. But there are levels below that that we need to pay attention to, okay? The first level is around $25,000, okay? As you can see right here, we've broken this major resistance level here, okay? We've used it as major support over the course of 2022, and we also used it as resistance in 2017. So this is a very critical level, and it's good that we're above this, okay? It's good that we've finally broken above this resistance level. However, we need the volume to continue this push towards the upside, or we need to have a pullback and hold that support and then continue that push towards the upside, okay? But the next level of resistance, which I am seeing, is this 25,000 from this previous high right here. So we do just have to be very aware of that. If the price comes up here, we could see a rejection, okay, and then maybe a retest, and then we could break it. But yeah, first, before we start thinking about 30K, we need to think about 25K, because 25K is a critical level as well. So for me, if we are going to see the price continue towards the upside, we need to hold this previous resistance, which I can actually change to support right now because we are above it, as I said. But yeah, if we can hold this support level, okay, if we can stay above this support level, then yes, we can be looking at $25,000. If we can break above that, then yes, we can be talking about 30K. But right now, all we need to focus on is holding this major support level here, and then we can start talking about 25K, okay? Because I am expecting this pullback. I was showing you on the smaller time frames. I'm expecting this pullback on the daily. There's indications telling me we're going to have a pullback, okay, on the likes of the 12-hour, the 8-hour, the 4-hour. We've got all these bearish divergences. We've got all these resistance levels. We've got the ES potentially getting a rejection from the resistance. We've got the DXY potentially pushing towards the upside because it's at support. So there is a possibility well, there is a high possibility that we are going to have this pullback, and we need to hold this support. If we're going to have this pullback, we need to hold this support to continue that rally towards the upside. If we can hold the support, then we could be looking at 25,000. Yes, that's very possible. Then if we break 25,000, then we can start talking about 30K. So I hope that sort of answered your question. 30K, it is possible, but there's things that we need to do in order to get to that stage. We need to hold support, and then we need to break resistance. For me, I see. Let me just read this. For me, I like to see that weekly hit lining up nicely with the value area high on Bitcoin. Weekly hit lining up with the value area high. What chart? Let me know what chart that is. Aquila, good to see you here. Crippy, US 500 and US 30 on daily both look like they might have a pullback. Yeah, traditional markets. It's looking likely. The ES, which is pretty much the S&P 500, it's the futures, E-mini futures version of it. But yeah, that's looking like it's going to have a pullback. So for me, I think a pullback is in play before we have a potential another push towards the upside. But we'll have to see after this pullback happens. Everyone says still we are still. Everyone says still we're still in a bear market. I'm guessing you're trying to say yes. We're still in a bear market. Okay, we are still in a bear market. The confirmations aren't all there that we are in the bull market. Okay, yes, we could be in the bull market right now, but we don't really have any confirmation yet. 28K, 28K for me is a possibility if we can break above 25,000. So we do just have to be aware of that $25,000 level. On the 4-hour, a lot of tokens have already diverted quite far from the 99 MA, which is also indicating to me that we are likely to see a pullback sooner rather than later. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I think, because looking at the 4 hour time frame, looking at that 4 hour time frame on Bitcoin, we are forming the bearish divergences there, and we are very overextended on those smaller time frames, forming bearish divergences, on the 4 hour, the 8 hour, the 12 hour, even the 3 hour, the 2 hour. So I think, this pullback, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen very soon, and I think it could happen pretty quickly as well. So yeah, for me, pullback is necessary before we can see that push towards the upside again. It's necessary before we can see the push towards the upside, but also we have to be aware that this pullback could lead to a bigger pullback as well. I'm not saying it will, but I'm just saying that we have to be aware that it could. Once the pullback happens, we will see it's back at 18K due to long liquidations. Yeah, possibly. The first level of support that I have, okay, let's just have a look again. Let's just have, yeah, the first level I have, okay, is actually $18,500. That's my first level of support because it is a daily level. That is going to be the first level of support, but there's sort of cluster, there's a cluster of support around that level. So between $17,800 and $18,500, there is a cluster of support there. So yeah, around that area, call it 18,000. There is a strong level of support there, and if we break that, then of course we are going to go much lower. As you said, there's loads of long liquidations there, so if longs are going to get liquidated there, that's going to push the price down as well. But yeah, I think that's everything I've got for you there. We've been live for almost half an hour now. Yeah, as I said, nothing too exciting happening right now, but I think that pullback is necessary to even continue this push towards the upside if we are going to see that push towards the upside continue. So right now, nothing too exciting happening, but of course I'm here. If anything happens, I will come live and I will explain it to you as well. So once again, thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you smash a like on this video. I would really, really appreciate it. It really helps me out. And I can continue to bring this TA to you as well, and the trades that I bring you as well. So please make sure you smash that like button. And yeah, I will see you in the next live stream. Thank you very much for watching, and see you later.